Hey guys, Carl from Purple Misplaced. Today I'm taking a look at Forges of Ravenshire from designer Sam Stockton and publisher B.A. games. This is a dice-based worker placement game that also incorporates aspects of resource management and also engine building along the way. In this game, you find yourself working the Forges of Ravenshire, trying to build up the resources necessary to craft shields and armor and weapons to fulfill the contracts of your customers, earning points along the way. Disclaimer, I was given a review copy of this game for this video, but as always, I will do my best to give you my own honest opinion on the game. With that said, let's head down to the table to see how this one plays, and then I'll meet you back up here to let you know what I think. To set up a solo game of Forges of Ravenshire, begin by placing the game board out onto the table. Next, place the season marker out here on the first space of the season track. Then take the three different guild tokens, the yellow alchemist guild, the green Harvester Guild, and the purple Merchant Guild tiles, giving each stack a good shuffle, placing the stack at the top of the board here, and then turning over the top two tiles, filling in the spaces on the board. So again, that's the yellow Alchemist Guild, now doing the same thing for the green Harvester Guild and the purple Merchant Guild. Next, to seed the dice on the board to start, I'm going to take two of each color of die, shuffle them, mix them up, and deal them out or roll them out one at a time, randomly filling in the first white space of each location. Next, on the left side of the board here, I'm going to take the three decks of contract cards, level 1, level 2, and level 3, shuffling each of those, placing out one column for each with three cards of that type. And then finally, to finish setting up the main board, I'm going to take these title cards, give those a shuffle, and reveal cards equal to 2 plus 1, meaning the number of players plus 1. In this case, I'm playing against the AI, so that is 2 plus 1 means 3 titles will get placed out. Like that. Next, I need to set up my player area as well as the AI's player area. So we're going to take a player board for each of us. For this playthrough, I will be playing as these blue ferret-looking creatures, and the AI will be playing as this yellow rabbit-raccoon duo. The AI board I simply flip over like this, and this is the AI's board. I'll stick that down here in the bottom corner. And then for my board, I will instead open up the board. That is my player board. And I'll set that down over here like that. Next, I'll take the player tokens for each of our two colors and set them both on the start space of this reputation track at the bottom of the board. On my board, I will place cubes in here to give myself one of each resource to start, placing the remaining cubes off to the side. Then the same thing for the AI, except the AI is going to basically be grabbing their cubes or sort of earning their cubes. So I'm just going to put a pool of their cubes up here at the top of the screen like this, and I'll pull them in as needed when they start playing. Then the AI and myself each get one of each colored die. For the AI, it doesn't matter to roll them because they're going to be setting them to certain values as we play. But for myself, I'm going to roll them all to get my sort of starting dice pool, and I'll just set those off down here for right now. To finish setting up my player board, I'm going to place out these sort of locked bars in the bottom two rows here of my guilds tracks. And then off to the side of the screen, I also have these upgrade tiles. This one here for my market, and then these two like this for these two spaces down here in the production area. I'm going to set those off to the side of the screen, and I'll pull those back in as needed to show them to you, and also when I decide to upgrade my board. Finishing up AI setup, I'm going to place these markers next to the three title cards to show sort of the priority that the AI is focusing on. Then continuing the AI priority setting, I'm going to take these three cards here marked with sort of shields, armor, and weapons and place them out in priority order, first based on the titles. You can see here that this title is giving points based on shields, so shield will be the first priority. There are no other ones focused on weapons, so instead the AI is simply going to randomly place out those two in order like that. The AI also then has to have guild priority, so they're going to take the cards of each of the guilds, shuffle those up, and place them out randomly as well. So that then left to right, purple, green, then yellow, merchant, harvester, and alchemist is the priority order for the AI. Finally, you'll understand what these cards mean later, but the AI is going to take their finishers, and they're going to choose a finisher that relates to here if there are any that do. And you can see here this top one there connects to this card right here, so that will be the finisher the AI gets for this game, placing it on their board like that. There is a bit of an AI reference printed here on the board, or a more sort of detailed one here. Now you'll notice it says AO, that's automated opponent, rather than AI. Double-sided, but the same on both sides. That can get placed there just to give us a little bit more information than is already printed on there. And then finally, the last thing I need to do for the AI is sort of set up their intelligence cards, basically what's going to dictate how they play the game. And the way that works is first I'm going to take a look at their priority order for the guilds. So the first priority guild, I'm going to use all 6 cards. For the second priority guild, I'm going to shuffle and draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see those are the green cards. And then for the third priority guild, which you'll see here, is the yellow alchemists, giving those a shuffle as well, selecting 2 of those at random. And then finally, we're always going to include these 2 reputation cards. But then depending on the difficulty level that I'm playing at, there are 3 different difficulty levels: apprentice, artisan, and master smith. You're going to include other random event cards as well. So I'm going to be playing on the second most difficulty level, which is the artisan difficulty level. And from that, I'm going to include randomly 2 of these other event cards in the deck. So put those there, shuffling these without looking, and drawing 2 of those to put into there. And then I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up that deck. Placing the shuffled deck here on the AI's board. And then finally, to finish setup for me, I need to take my starting resources. You'll see that everything is sorted into these 2 trays. Here are the sort of mythic items: talismans, dragon skills, ember gems, and mithril. And over here we've got money in values of 1, 5, and 20, as well as action tokens. These I'm going to set off to the side of the screen because you don't really need to see them on screen. But to start, I will get 4 money and 1 action token. And I'll put my stuff down here for now, moving things around on the screen as needed, getting into gameplay. The last thing for me, and I'm going to keep these off screen, but I'll use them in a second to show you how to play the game, but each player gets 6 sort of player aids that explain the different kinds of goods, mystic goods and regular goods, and the different phases of the game: gathering, production, and end of season. And also the actions you can take using the action tokens. Again, I'll use those to explain things in just a second, but otherwise I'm going to keep those off screen as well. And I know I keep saying finally, but now actually finally, I'm always going to start as the first player, so I'll put that there for now. That will pass back and forth. And also there's an optional sort of piece to the game, and that is assistance, which are these cards right here. I've already played the game with the Royal Patron, the Cleric, the Raven, and the Badger, so I'm going to actually remove those so that I can try something new, giving the rest of these a good shuffle, choosing one randomly. And for this game, I will be playing as, or with, the Metallurgist Assistant, which I'll explain shortly after I set up or walk you through how the game itself is going to play. And actually, just to save some space, I'm going to stick that on my player board right over there. And with that, we are all set up for gameplay. So Forges of Ravenshire is going to play out over a series of 4 rounds, as shown here on the main board. And in each round, we're going to go through 3 different phases: the gathering phase, the production phase, and the end of season phase. The gathering phase, myself and the AI will take turns. Then the production phase, the AI does nothing and I will do something myself. And then the end of season is basically a cleanup and preparation for the next round. So let me go ahead and get into each of those phases and how they work. And I'll sort of try and teach you as I play through in the first round or first season. So in the gathering phase, as I mentioned, we will take turns. On my turn, I'm going to follow this sort of flow. First, I'm going to place a die at a location, activating that location. Then I'm going to take a die from a location, activating that second location. And then the die that I've placed will get placed on my player board to run the actions of one of my guilds. And during that entire phase, I can also use the market exchange, which I will just show you in just a minute. But also you'll see in between each of these is use action tokens. I can also use action tokens to do other things during my turn or during this phase, but I can only use it before placing a die, after placing a die, or after running the guild. I can never use it in between taking a die and running my guild, and you'll see why, because I can't sort of affect the game in the middle of something that I'm doing. So I'll explain the different positions and placement first, and then I'll explain what those action tokens do. So there are 6 different locations on the board, and basically most of these locations are going to be about gathering resources of some kind, either normal goods or these sort of mystic goods. In the Sharp Rock Mountains, I'll be gaining ore and potentially mithril. In the Darkwood Forest, I'll be gaining wood and potentially dragon scales. In the Tannery District, I'll be making leathers and potentially getting talismans. In the Smoky Valley, I will be getting charcoal and potentially ember gems. The Bramwell Foundries, I'll be forging steel and potentially getting extra action tokens. And then finally at the guild halls is where I'm going to be recruiting sort of guild members into my guilds to give me better powers when I activate one of my guild tracks. Additionally, I would get either a regular good or a mystic good from going there. And you'll see that the numbers there are going to be the values of the dice that I'm either placing or taking away. So again, on my turn, I'm going to place one die at a location, of course, in an empty open space doing so. And when I place that die, the color of the dice don't matter, but instead the number only is going to trigger the sort of action at that location based on the value of dice that I'm playing. So if I play a die with a value of 2 there, I would take this top action, which is simply getting 1 steel, which would mean I would move up the tracker for steel to 1 higher on my player board. After placing a die, I would then choose a die to take back. In this case, I cannot take back the die that I just played on the player board. And when I take the die, again, only the number matters to trigger this action, but the color of the die is going to dictate which of my 3 guilds I'm going to run. So for example, if I took this 1, I would place that here, activating all of the actions in my yellow guild column. In this case, taking either 1 talisman or 1 dragon scale. So again, we're going to take turns doing that. However, again, I can use action tokens before placing a die, before taking a die, and after running my guild, but not between taking a die and running my guild. And the actions that I'm allowed to do are use 1 action token to gain a contract, means taking one of these contracts into my hand, except that I can only take a contract of a level that I've reached in my sort of reputation. So until I get to this space on the reputation track, I cannot interact with level 2 cards, and until I get to this space, I cannot interact with level 3 cards. And in saying this, I realized also as part of setup that I should have taken 3 level 1 cards to start, and then chosen 1 to keep in my hand. And I'll explain why that's important in just a minute, once I explain what these cards are going to do. Also for an action, I can refresh a row and gain a contract. So I can spend 1 action token to completely clear a row and then refill that row. Again, I can only interact with columns that I have unlocked through my reputation. And that's because not only am I refreshing the row, but after refreshing, I must take one of the 3 new contracts that's come out. The third thing I can do is recruit a guild member, which we also do from this location, except then I don't have to use a die to do it. But what I didn't mention when I talked about this is anytime I recruit a guild member, I can take anything that I want to, but I have to play the cost in money printed on the bottom left corner of that tile. And also, as soon as I take one, it will refill. If I took the bottom one, this would slide down and then refill instead. So again, I can do these things only during the gathering phase. But the last thing I can do can happen either in gathering or production, and that is building an upgrade. And I showed you the upgrades before. The cost of each upgrade is shown here in the top left corner. This would take 1 money and 2 action tiles. And these, again, also 1 money and 2 action tiles to upgrade things on my board. This increasing the amount of charcoal I can make from wood in the production phase. This increasing the amount of steel I can make from charcoal and ore in the production phase. And this one simply improving my market actions, which really the only thing that changes here is that you'll see in a minute the talisman would be able to alter the value of dice by 2 instead of by 1. So let me talk about that now. Because the other thing I can do during my gathering phase and also during the production phase is using my market to make exchanges. I can always exchange 3 of any regular good for 1 regular good of any type. Same thing, 3 of any mystic good for 1 mystic good of any type. I can use talisman when placing or taking dice, but actually not when placing or taking dice, but to affect the value of dice on this board or on my player area. It's worth mentioning, though, that I can never wrap a 6 to a 1 or a 1 to a 6, but otherwise each talisman I spend can increase or decrease the value of the die by 1. And when I do, or if I do, upgrade my market, that would change to plus or minus 2 instead of 1. Next, I can always spend 2 ember gems to get 2 of any normal good. Doesn't have to be the same, could be 2 different. And or I could spend 1 dragon scale and 1 charcoal to simply get 1 money and 1 good of any kind. So why am I doing these things? Basically, I'm gathering goods so that I can build these different, or fulfill these different contracts, basically making whatever the item is on that card. In order to do so, I need to have this many resources at the end of my production phase. And then if I build that, I will get whatever it shows here on the right side. So in this case, it's going to be 1 action token plus money, but some of them will give me reputation. Some of them will also give me other kinds of mystic goods like 2 talismans here and here. In addition, when I make these things, I can choose to spend extra stuff in order to sort of embellish or put a finish on the thing that I'm making, getting me something else. So when I spend the resources to make one of these things, if I spend 2 mithril and a charcoal in addition to the normal resource cost, I will move up once on the reputation track. And when I move up once on the reputation track, anytime I land on one of these white things, that will instantly give me the thing printed there. Otherwise, these will unlock the 2nd and 3rd level contracts, and these numbers at the bottom will be scoring at the end of the game. Plus, if I ever make it to the end here, I'll get an additional 3 coins every time I would move up. The other option for finish is I can spend 2 ember gems and a charcoal to immediately get 5 money at the same time. Now, I did choose an apprentice for this game, and the apprentice I'm using this time is the metallurgist. And the metallurgist gives me a couple extra things I can do. At any point, I can spend any 2 regular goods to get either a mithril or an ember gem because the metallurgist is focused on that finishing of these goods. And it says here that in addition to doing that 2 mithril and charcoal for reputation or 2 ember gems and charcoal for money, I can also spend an additional mystical item to get something else. So 1 dragon seal would get me 2 items, 2 goods, of any normal type. 1 talisman would get me a coin and an action token. An additional ember gem would get me 3 additional coins. And here 1 more mithril would get me an additional reputation on my turn. So I need to be focused on getting more of that extra stuff every time I complete a contract. But also, we've got these 3 titles over here on the side, and these are going to give me extra bonus scoring at the end of the game if I've accomplished those things. So in this case, if I've got 5 contracts that have finished using 2 ember gems and a charcoal, I will score 6 points. And I said check at the end of the game, but that actually isn't correct. You'll see here on the card, it says 6, and then if I turn it this way, it says 3. As soon as one person triggers this, and we will check at the end of every round, it will rotate this way, and anybody else who scores it will then get the lower valued score. So I am kind of racing the AI to get these finished, and again, the AI is prioritizing them as such. Next, the shield rate will give me 8 points if I can make 5 contracts of shields. So I want to focus on making shields. And finally, the artificer is simply, I need to complete 7 contracts to score 6. So this is 6, and this is 8. So I might focus on the shields first. And if I can manage to get that finish on all of them, I would instantly get both of those at the same time. So that's likely what I'm going to be doing. The only thing I haven't talked about yet is the production phase, which is going to allow me to convert some resources and do a little bit more extra sort of stuff before checking to see if I can finish any contracts. But I'll talk about that later when I actually get into our first production phase. All right, so then taking my turn, first things first, I need to choose one of these 3 things to make, or to potentially make, to add to my hand. As I said before, I want to focus on shields, so I don't care about that one for right now. The resource cost of the round shield is obviously a little bit more than the heater shield, and that's because this one will get me 9 points, or coins, and this will get me 5. Now, it's worth mentioning 9 coins. Each coin is a point, but we're also going to be spending coins during the game. So basically, I'm spending points to get things done throughout the game, but I am going to focus on that round shield, putting these 2 back at the bottom of this deck. And now I'm ready to get into gameplay. And this is kind of in the way, but let's stick it right there for right now. All right, so I'm trying to build this shield for sure. I might want to try and get other things, but that means I need at least 3 steel, at least 5 wood, and at least 4 leathers. I also see that these are both 4 already, which will get me the max resource for both of them. So I kind of want to focus on upgrading here early. I'd kind of like to figure out a way to get more mystic stuff, which could happen from this here, could happen from this letting me spend a coin to get a leather and a mystic. This gets me a reputation and 2 talismans though, which is nice to have as well. But that does cost 4, and this only costs 2. Yeah, but yellow and purple is sort of what I'm looking at. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to play my purple 1, which gets me a normal good and a guild. And the normal good, I think I'm going to take this time. Let's see, we need 4 leather and 5 wood. I want more wood because converting wood into charcoal could potentially also get me ember gems, which is something I definitely want to have. So doing that, I took the wood and now I get to buy one of these. I'll spend 2 coins to take that one, slotting that into my board. Now I could slot it into here, but that covers up the thing that's already printed there, and I'd rather not do that. So we'll do that like that. Next, I need to take something. And I think for right now, what I'd like to take is this purple, because I just leveled up the purple. So if I take that 4, I'm going to get 3 wood. So I'm up to 5 wood, which is what I need for the shield, yay. And then I slot that into my purple guild and I activate here. So I can take a coin or spend a coin for an action token. Right now I'll take that coin, but then I'm going to instantly spend that coin to get a leather and 1 mystic good of my choice, which is going to be an ember gem, because I'd like to focus on getting that done. Like that, and that is my turn. Now on the AI's turn, they're simply going to turn over the top card of their deck and do whatever it says. So first things first, the normal card is going to show dice. They're going to prioritize from the top down if they have that color. So they're going to take their green die and set it to a value 4, but they're going to try and place it at action slot 3 if they can, and if not, then 5, and then 2, and then 4. So let's start there. Green set to 4. Placing in 1, 2, 3 is here they can, and a 4 gets them to leather. Now, the AI will never take goods. The AI is simply going to collect goods cubes every time they make a good of any kind. And depending on the difficulty level of AI that you're playing with, they're going to instantly trigger a contract as soon as they have a certain number of goods. For the simplest level or the easy level, you're going to need 13, but for the level that we are playing, as soon as they have 12 goods, they will trigger a contract. In addition, you'll see the AI never takes action tokens or mystic tokens as shown here. They're instead going to get a coin every time they get any mystic token or action token. And as I showed you here, regular goods get them a cube. And in my artisan difficulty that I'm playing at 12 cubes, they will complete a contract. And I'll show you how that works when they are done. But now continuing the AI's turn, they need to take a die. And they're going to prioritize the top color first and then the bottom color, choosing a value based on there. So here it says the highest purple die. And if there is more than one purple die of that value, they would then start in action space 6, working their way towards space 1 to prioritize which one to take. So highest purple right now is this 5. So again, they're getting 2 goods and a mystic good, so 2 cubes and 1 coin for the AI. And then they slot this into their guild as well, getting right here what it shows and anything they've unlocked. But right now they haven't placed out any guild tiles, so they'll simply get 1 coin. All right, back to my turn. I need more leather, which I can do with either of those. I always need charcoal. I always need steel for stuff. But ore is not a bad thing to have if I can get mithril, and I can if I place that 2 there. So I'm going to place a 2 there, getting 2 ore and a mithril. So I'm up to 3 ore, and I get 1 mithril. Now I get to take a die, and I'd really like to get some leather so I can get up to 4 to make this thing. But I get more leather if I do this. And it may not be a bad idea to try and upgrade again. The problem is I don't have another space for purple. And I don't know that I love anything else, especially with my little low funding right now. Yeah, so I think I'm going to take one of these. If I take the yellow, I get to take either a talisman or a dragon scale, which isn't bad to have. And if I take the green, I get 1 good of any type of my choice. Right now, I'm not really worried about talisman or dragon scales. The talismans are nice because I can change the value of dice, which might be nice later. But right now, I am going to take the green one, but hold on a minute. No, I only have 2 coins, so I can't afford anything over there. I don't have a dragon scale to trade for money, so no, that's the best I can do. All right, so I will take the green 4, playing that there, which gets me 2 leather, up to 4, and I'm going to take 1 charcoal, and that's because later on I'll probably convert charcoal and ore into steel. So I want to make sure I have at least the same amount of those 2. Next turn for the AI. They're trying to place purple, which they can, setting it to a 3, hoping to place at 4 they can. So 3 gets them 2 more goods, so they're up to 6, that's halfway to a contract. Then they're trying to take the highest green, they're all 2s, so it says moving from 6 to 1, so they're going to take this one. Now the AI will always take the top tile from there. So they're going to take that and they will flip it over and slot it there. So now when they place a green die, they will activate that in addition to the top spot. And then because it's a 2, they also get 1 more regular good, up to 7 cubes. This gets slotted into green, which gets them 2 more goods, like that. So they're at 9. That's getting close. My last turn, got a 5, which could get me 2 wood, a leather, lots of charcoal, and an ember gem. Yep, that's the one. 2 charcoal up to 4, and I get my 2nd ember gem. So now I'm set for this finish with this, which will get me close to that, which gets me close to that. And if I spend a mithril, I'll also go up on reputation, which is a good thing to do. Then I need to take something. I wish that I had more money, but I think I might do it anyway. Yeah. It's going to be a waste right now, but I'm going to spend an action token and a coin to unlock this first level of guild stuff. And I'm going to take this purple die. Whoops, this should have refilled. Now I only have 1 coin. I wish I could do this one, but I don't. So I'm going to spend 1, to take that one and slot that there. That refills. And that is a 1, so I get 1 something regular. And I might as well do ore so that I can get more stuff here. Then, that gets slotted here. I'm going to take a coin from this one, and I can either get leather and a thing or wood and a mystic thing. And in any case, I spend that. Leather or wood? I think I'm going to take wood. Yeah, I'm going to take wood, and I'm going to take another ember gem, and you'll see that's because if I can make charcoal from wood, I could potentially get another ember gem that way as well for future building stuff. So I'm good there. AI takes their last turn. Trying to place purple, they can't, so they're going to place yellow with a value of 1 in spot 2. Whoops, that should be a 1. Which means they get 3 goods and a dragon scale. So they're going to get a contract now. And they get a dragon scale means they simply get 1 more coin, instantly triggering a contract. So what they're going to do is they're going to look at the highest level they've unlocked. They're still only level 1. Then they're going to look in order of priority here. So they're looking for shields. There are shields. If there were no shields, they would simply clear that, put them at the bottom, and draw out 3. If there still were no shields, they would prioritize the next type. But there are shields, so they're going to take the topmost card of that type, and they will instantly get that. So they're going to get 1 action token, which is just a coin for them. They're going to get 11 coins more than that. 1 and 2 5s. And then they will always get the finish that shows here. So they're going to get an additional 5 coins. So that's 5, 10. This is 5 plus another 5. Exchanging everything for them, they now have 20. And that goes there. Because remember, the AI is also working to score these things. We refill that slot. And now I move into the production phase. In the production phase, I am going to be able to do these things. I can place my dice, and you'll see what that means in just a second. I can continue building upgrades. I can complete contracts, and I can also use the market exchange. Now, placing my dice means I'm going to take these 3 dice on this side of my board and place them in locations on this side of my board. So here, placing a die lets me activate any of my 3 guild columns. Here, placing any value is going to get me 2 action tokens. Here, depending on the value, I'll get 2 regular goods and an ore, a mystical good, a regular good, and an ore, or a mystical good, a coin, and an ore. Here, for a 1 and a 2, I get 2 action tokens. A 3 or a 4 pushes me up reputation, and a 5 or a 6 gets me 4 coins. Then looking down here, if I place here, I can change as much wood as I want to into charcoal. I must do at least 1. And if I do at least 1, I can then add whatever it shows here based on the value. So 1 or 2 gets me 3 additional charcoal, a 3 or 4 gets me a charcoal and an ember gem, and a 5 or 6 gets me a single charcoal. And finally, same thing down here except making steel. I'm going to change charcoal and ore together into steel. 1 of each makes 1 steel. Plus, assuming I make at least 1, then a 1 or a 2 will get me a second steel, 3 or 4 gets me a second steel plus a mithril, and a 5 or a 6 gets me 2 steel. So I think what I'm gonna do is, I'd love to have the ember gem, but having extra charcoal is better than the difference between 1 and 4 here. I also would love to increase my reputation. So I'm going to play a 4 here to increase reputation. So I am the blue player moving up. Sorry, the AI should have cleared all of their cubes when they made their contract. All right, then that triggers 1 regular good. I'm going to boost up wood because why not? Then I'm coming here. Looking here, I've got 5 wood. Looking over here, ooh, this one actually requires no wood. I do need 2 talismans, but that's not a big deal. I might aim for that when and if I get my reputation up. So I'm going to change, I'm at 7. This is 5, so I can change 2 wood, 1, 2, into 2 charcoal, 5, 6. But then because I placed a 1, I get 3 more, 7, 8, 9. Then lastly, I'm going to slot this 4 in here, changing 4 and 4 into 4 here, 1 to 5. And then plus, because it's a 4, I get an additional 1 and 1 mithril. And then I want to make this round shield. Requires 3 steel, 1, 2, 3 down to 3. 5 wood, so this goes to 0. And 4 furs, so this also goes to 0. That gets me 1 action token, 9 coins, which I will do here, 5 and 4. And then I am going to spend 2 amber gems and 1 charcoal to finish like this, but I'm also, as a metallurgist, going to spend 1 mithril, because that gives me an additional reputation, and I get the 5 coins from that. Like that. That's the end of the production phase. Finally, we move into the end of season phase, which looks like this. So first I want to check for completed titles, then I'll prepare the main board, and I'll show you what that means, pass the first player marker, and roll all the player dice. So checking for titles, we're going to see if either one of us has finished any of those. Right now, we have not. Next, preparing the main board, I'm going to remove the bottom one of each of these. I'm setting them off screen just because I don't have space, but if these ever empty, which I doubt, we would reshuffle those and put them back. These slide down. These flip over. Then all of the dice on the board, again, get re-rolled and placed out randomly. And I just realized I made a huge mistake because the AI didn't take a die at the end of the last round in their second turn. So I'm going to pause here, check the tape, fix that, and I will explain what happened. All right, so checking the recording, they would have actually taken the lowest purple, which at the time was this 3 at the Smoky Valley. So they should have taken that, taken 2 more cubes. This would have gone here and triggered 1 more coin, like that. Now let me reset those dice. Now that we have the correct dice, like that. Next, moving on to our boards, I pass the first player marker to the AI. So they will go first this turn. Their dice simply clear because, again, their numbers are based on the cards as they come out. Then my dice need to be re-rolled like that. And we will move into season 2. All right, so the AI is going first this season, flipping over a card. This is the first of their events. Simply says their reputation goes up 1, and then they take a regular turn, but first they get a good for doing that. They're at 3. Then flipping another card for their regular turn. They don't have any yellows. They'll place a green as a 5. Hoping to go to round 4. Place 4, which is here in the Smoky Valley, yes. 5 gets them 2 goods and a coin. And then they're taking the lowest purple. There isn't one. The lowest green is this 3. Gets them 2 more goods. 6, 7. But then also triggering green track, getting 2 more goods up to 9, like that. All right, then my turn. I am at level 2 now. I have an action token. I want to take this Ferret's Freedom, spending my action token to take that into my hand. I'm running out of space. I'll stick it there for right now. Wait a minute. No, that was a bad planning. That is not a shield. 3, 7, 4, 2, 4, 8, 5, 1. Huh. I'm more likely to have mithril. It's a little more expensive, but I'm going to try and get that taken care of. Yeah, that means this replaces there, like that. All right, now my turn. I'm placing on a die. I'm basically okay for iron. I already have 1 mithril, but I could do with more, which I could do right now, but then I get ore, and I don't really need ore. Although I could use it with charcoal to make the iron. But right now I need 8 wood and 5 leather. Yeah, let's focus on that. Placing that to get 3 wood and a dragon scale. like that, and that. I don't need that, but remember, 3 of anything can make me 1 of anything. So that's fine. Plus a dragon scale and a charcoal can get me a coin and any good, which is also nice to have. Now, I'd like more wood. I'd like more leather, but green only gets me 1 more something. But there's no purple out on the board right now, so I am going to take that 4. Getting 3 more wood up to 6. Placing that there gets me 1 more something. And I think it might be, it doesn't matter realistically. I'll take the wood, 7. Yes, AI takes their second turn, flipping again. Trying to place green, they don't have one. They'll take a purple 1. Trying to go to 1, they can. That gets them 2 goods and a mithril, or in this case, a coin. Then they are going to take a highest green, is this one. Again, 2 goods and a coin. That's still only 4 coins, but now they have 13. They will spend 12 of their goods to take a contract. Now, they still haven't triggered level 2, so they're still focused here. There are shields. They take that top one. They've already paid for it. They are going to get 1 action token, which gets them a coin. So I'm going to trade that 4 in for a 5. Then they also get 7 more coins from that. 5, 6, 7. Like that. And then, of course, their finish is always an additional 5 coins. Like that, and they're done. They've got 2 shields now. I need to be careful. This fills back in. Like that. All right. Then, my turn again. And I think I need to get tanning stuff. So I'm going to put that 2 down, which gets me 2 leather and a talisman, which is nice to have because I haven't had one for a while. And now I get to take back. I can't take that. I could take this, which does nice things here. Don't really need the ore, but it could turn into steel, and having another mithril is worth having because it gets me reputation, and I need it for this shield, so I am going to do that. Take that 1, gets me 2 ore and 1 mithril. Going into purple. Do I want an action token right now? Maybe? I got money. Let's do it. Having another action token would be nice to have. Then I'm going to spend a coin to get a leather and something of my choice. I need an ember gem. Oops. And then spending 1 more coin to get a wood, which is now the 8 that I needed for this, plus 1 more something. Looking ahead at these, I want to get to level 3. Shields means either 2 mithril or 3 talismans. Now this is 3 talismans, but it gets me 2 back again. But this is 18 points and 4 reputation. I want that. So I'm going to take another mithril. That's my turn. AI takes their 3rd and final turn for the round, placing out this purple as a 5 in space 6 here, which means they're going to try and take a purple guild token. And I don't know why this green is here. That was a mistake from a long, long time ago. They should have taken purple both times. So realistically, they should have had less goods and more coins. Yeah, I'll leave a subtitle on the video at that point. That was a mistake. So I'm going to actually retcon right now, placing this one. Actually, this would have been the one from last round because I did refresh. So we'll do that. That was a mistake, but we'll fix it as best we can now. And again, I'll leave a subtitle. Comment about that. They should be focused on this guild, not the dice that they're placing, and that's probably what I did last time. And then they get 1 coin as well. So again, they wouldn't have built as much as they did, but that's okay. Then they're trying to take the highest green. And looks like I forgot to do that last time. That should be theirs, which would have gotten them 1 good now that I know the actual truth. I don't know how I forgot to take that. But anyway, they're taking a highest green again, which is this 2. Gets them 3 goods and a coin. And that again gets them one more good. Okay, so then my final turn. Again, I apologize for the nonsense with the AI. I need at least a leather. Yes. At least one leather. No, at least two leather. So I will be taking that, which is a good thing, I think. Then I need nothing else. This, but that's okay. So where am I placing this 6? I can't get any more gold because it's full. I can't place this as leather because it's full. So I might as well place that there to get 1 steel and an action token, planning for the future. Then take this 2 purple, which gets me 2 more leather, 1 more talisman. Slots in here. I'm not going to take the action token, so I do get a coin, but I'm going to spend a coin to get a leather and something. Let's see, what do I need for mithril? I need a second mithril there. And then I am going to spend 1 more coin to get another wood. And yeah, let's take another mithril there as well, because that will cover the 2 plus 1 more for the extra finishing. Assuming that's what I want, but that's okay. So that's the end of the second season. Gathering phase, moving into the production phase. I have everything I need to build that. So let me go ahead and do that first so I can get everything out of the way. Spending 4 of those, 8 of those, 5 of those, and 1 mithril gets me 1 reputation, which gets me an action token, and 17 coins. So 5, 10, 15, 1, 2 is 17. And then cleaning up, taking those 5, 10, 15 plus another 5, changing that into a 20 just so I can clear up some space. Then I am finishing that same way. 2 ember gems and 1 charcoal. Gets me 5 more coins, like that. And I'm going to spend an additional mithril to move up 1 more here, so I'm unlocking the 3rd row, which is great. Then I have some dice to place out. Looking at this, no, this one is what I want. I need 6 steel. I need 11 wood. I need 6 of these, and I've already got the mithril. Then let's just start getting a bunch of stuff. I don't want to spend any wood, but I might as well put I've got enough mithril here. Yeah, I'm going to use a talisman to change this 4 into a 5, placing that there, spending 2 ore and 2 charcoal to get 2 steel, plus the additional 1, 2 steel like that. Actually, retcutting that for a second, I'm going to first spend a coin and 2 action tokens to upgrade that steel. So then instead of an additional 2, I get an additional 4. So that's 2 more steel there is 6, which is exactly what I need for that. Yay. Then I need more wood and I need more leathers, but I can get that from there later potentially. Let's see. Running this gets me that and 2 more things, but I'm wasting money to do it. So that's not a great idea. 2 action tokens I don't really need right now. In any case, I'm going to place this 1 here to get me 2 goods of my choice plus an ore. So I get 1 ore, and I need more wood than leather, so that goes up 2 more. Then where am I placing this 2? Action tokens or activate a track? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to activate the track. I'll spend the 2 coins. So I get a coin from there because I don't need the action token for right now. Spending 1 coin to get a leather and a something. And I'm going to get ember gems because I'm going to need them for finishing. Then I'm spending another coin to get a wood and another ember gem. Yeah, and that's the end of my turn. So we go into the end of season. Nobody's completed any contracts yet, or sorry, titles. These go away. These slide down, flipping over new ones. Dice all reset. Then I get to be first player again. Coming back over here like that. And I clear his dice, re-roll my dice. Like that. And we move into season 3. Now, I've got 2 seasons left. If I want to do these, I need 3 more contracts. So I want to do a big one, but I think I may also take this small one. But I don't have the action tokens at the moment. In any case, I go first. I'm absolutely taking this before I can't. That refills. Like that. Then I take my turn. I need another 7 wood. I need another 4 leather. I potentially need to start focusing maybe on this instead of that. But in any case, that's neither here nor there right now. Would I rather have that tooth or that dragon scale? Doesn't matter because I don't really need either one of them. Although I would need teeth for that talisman. Yeah, but I don't like that either. I can get all kinds of stuff from these purples if I want to. So let's go to here, getting 3 wood and a dragon scale. Then taking this 5, which gets me 1 fur, or leather, sorry. That slots in there. I get a coin that I immediately spend to get another leather and something, which I will get a talisman to make sure I have it for here. I have the 2 mithril for that. I have the 2 of that. I am going to spend 1 more coin, whether or not it's a good idea. Spending a 5 and taking 4 change to take a wood and something else. I'm going to start stocking up on amber gems for my next build. Yes. AI takes their next turn, placing a green die, because that's all they have, as a 3 at space 6. Taking their 3rd purple and 1 good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 now. That goes there. Then taking the lowest purple off the board, which is that one, which gets them 1 good. Places there and gets them 4 coins. Trading in 1 and a 1, 2, 3, 15 to get another 20. My turn again. I'm getting close to both wood and furs. I want that 3 there to get 2 more fur. 5, 6. I think I'm going to take that again. What else do I need? More steel, but I'm already at 6 steel. And that one requires 3 more, so not a ton. Yeah, I'm going to take that wood again. 3 wood, 9, 10, 11, which means I'm good for this. I need 7 more there. And another dragon scale, which now I could trade those 3 in for something else. That's my turn. AI takes their second turn, placing a green 2 at space 1, getting 2 goods and a coin. Like that, and then taking the highest purple, which is that, getting 5 more coins, and also taking the 2 furs that I wanted, which means they now have 12 cubes, but they're still only level 1. They're going to take that shield right there, replacing that. And they get 6 coins plus an additional coin for that thing. But anyway, here's 6 plus 1 is 7 plus 3 is 10. So that's 2 more 5s plus the 1. And they finish again getting 5 more coins. So 5, 10, and 15 gives them 20. Like that. And they've got 3 shields now, needing 5. All right, so I'm going to place out this 4. I have enough wood. I don't have enough furs. Do I? I have 6. Yeah, I have just enough furs. So this 6 gets me either 1 fur or 2 wood. What do I need more of for this? 7 wood and 4 furs. Yeah, I'm going to take wood. Getting 2 Wait, hold on. I said I'm going to take wood, getting 3 wood. 1, 2, 3 to 4. Then I'm going to take this 6, because they're going to give me a steal, but it also gives me an action token. Then I place this 6 and get a tooth, a talisman, or a dragon scale. I will take the talisman. And I'm going to immediately spend that to take this shield so nobody else does. Replacing that there. AI takes their 3rd turn, which is placing a green 3 at 5, which gets them 1 good. Oops, those should be gone, so now they have 1 good. Taking the highest yellow, which is here or here, but it says starting from 6, so they get that. So purple is full now. They're going to prioritize green, taking that one, which flips over there. And I realized purple never filled in, like that. And then they place that on their board, getting 1 more good. End of season 3. I go into production. I'm going to start by building this shield or filling this contract. So 6 iron goes down to 1, or 6 steel. 11 wood goes 1 and 10. 6 furs is nothing now. And 2 mithril goes there, like that. Which means I get 4 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 gets me a good and a thing. And I think the good I want is leather, and the special thing I want is another one of those. Then I am going to spend an additional mithril. Hold on. No, I'm going to spend a dragon scale to get an additional 2 goods of any kind. So 4, 5 wood, like that. And I'm spending the regular 2 ember gems and 1 charcoal to finish this way, which gets me another 5 coins, plus the 18 that I didn't take, so that is 23, 24, 25, changing in 2s, like that. Good. Now, to do this, I need 2 more iron. I need 3 more leather and 2 more wood. Plus, I'd really want to have another charcoal so I can finish it. Let's see what we can do. I need 2 charcoal first, somehow. I don't think I'm going to be doing this. I don't have something else that I don't need to just start spending on stuff. So I think probably I don't get this done this round, but next round I can do both of them, I think. But we'll see. Because I want to aim for that next round. So let's do this. I want to, this takes 2, that takes 3 more teeth. It may be this one that I take instead of this one. Yeah. So first things first, I need this. So I'm going to place a 2 there, take 2 charcoal and an ore. Then I'm going to place a 5 there to go down 1 and 1. To get one of these plus 4 more goes up to 6, which means I could do those 2. Then my 6 is going to activate my purple track, and I'm spending. So I'm going to spend 1 to get an action token. I'm going to spend 1 more to take a fur and a something, which is going to be another ember gem, because I need them. Then another coin, spending 5 and taking 4, to take a wood and another ember gem. Yes, so now I'm set for finishing. These guys, 2 of them go on there. One of them's gonna go on there. But I gotta wait my turn to do that. Oh no, I can use action tokens, can I? During the production phase, no, just upgrade contracts and market exchange. So I have to wait. There's a chance that they might take it away from me. But that's that. Okay, I'm done. That means we reset. These go away again. These slide down. These turn over. that. These reset. Then, first player marker goes back to the AI, which, yeah, I'll just stick there for right now. That's full anyway. Okay, then resetting boards. These come off. There. Mine get re-rolled. Like that. We move into the fourth and final season. AI takes their turn, which is placing a 4 yellow. If possible, it is. In spot 2, it is. They get 3 goods. Then taking the lowest green is this 2. So I'll place that there so I don't forget it again. They're taking a green guild tile, filling in there. Plus they get 1 good. So they're up to 6 again. That goes there, 1, 2, 3 more goods, up to 9. But again, they only have level 1 still. Because they're not finishing with reputation, and they've only pulled out 1 reputation thing so far. My turn. I've got 6 steel, which is great because I'm going to spend an action token and take this second card, which is going to need 1 ember gem. So I still need 1 ember gem to finish both of those. Wouldn't mind 2 ember gems because then I could get a second finish with 3 coins. This 3 coins is 3 points. Moving from here to here is only 2 points. All right, that refills. I take my actual turn. Again, I'm good with steel. I need 15 wood, so I need another 9 wood. I need 8 here, so I need another 6 of those. And more ember gem would be not a bad idea. So I will place this one here, taking 2 leather and a talisman. And then I will take this one back, getting 3 wood and a dragon scale. Then that slots into here. Do I need an action token? No, I don't. Unless I want more guild members, but I don't. Yeah, I don't need the action token, so I take a coin, I spend it to get 1 leather and 1 ember gem. And then I do it again, spending 1 coin to get a wood, up to 10, and another amber gem, like that. I think that's it. 8 and 7 is 15, I'm at 10. 4 and 4 is 8, I'm at 5. Okay. AI's turn, flipping over another card. Placing the 4 purple at 1. That's 2 more goods for them. Super close, probably happening now. Taking the lowest yellow is this 2, which simply gets them 1 good, but that is enough for them to get another contract. Now they're still at level 1. There are no shields, so those go away. Then 3 more come out. Again, there are no shields, means they're now prioritizing armor, so they'll take that one, which gets them 13 plus 1 is 14. So 5, 10, 15 if I put that 1 back. And then, of course, they finish another 5, so that 15 becomes another 20, like that. This fills back in. Those go away. This slots in as a 2, getting them 1 more good, like that. My turn. Yeah, let's keep it up. 4 goes there to get 3 more wood. 1, 2, 3. This purple 1 comes back again, getting me 2 more of these and a tooth. Taking a coin, spending it to get a leather and a something. Might as well be another ember gem. Spending again, yeah, because I want the wood. To get a wood and a something. I'm going to get dragon scales because you'll see here dragon scales and charcoal give me coins and goods at the end of the game. So I could get a couple extra coins if I have a couple extra dragon scales. And this is finished plus another coins. This is finished plus some more coins. So that's good to have. This is good. This is good. 4 and 4 is 8. We're good. 7 and 8 is 15. We're 1 short. 3 and 3 is 6. We're good. Then AI takes their final turn of the game. Ha! There's their second reputation. So now they are level 2. Taking their turn here. This is a 6. Getting placed on 4. There, right? That's 4. Yes. They get 2 goods and a coin. And then they're taking the lowest yellow, which is one of these two, starting from 1 here. Again, 2 goods and a coin. Slotting in there gets them 1 more good, means they don't build any more or complete any more contracts for the game. Yay. I take my final turn. I still need wood, but I can't place there, but I can pull from there, so we'll see. And I can't take charcoal either, because I do need at least 2 charcoal. I could take another guild, but it's not worth it right now. So I need wood. Do I want to pay for more goods? No, I don't. So I'm just going to go there to get 1 steel and 1 action token. Action tokens will be worth points at the end of the game, so that's a point anyway. Then I need wood. Yeah, let's get wood. 4s. Gives me 3 wood, which is 2 additional wood, plus 1 of anything. I'm going to take a charcoal. That's the end of the last gathering phase, moving into my final production phase. I think I have enough to do everything already without changing anything. But I'm never going to have enough to get something else. I think. Do I want to just squeeze in one of these? Maybe. I've got an additional 1 steel. I don't have extra stuff, and I don't have extra wood, but I don't need it. I think I can do that. Yeah, all right, let's spend my last action to take that before we move into production. All right, then let me start doing some contract fulfillment first. So this shield takes 3 steel down to 4, 7 wood down to 10, 4 of these down to 4, and these 2 talismans to play that, which gets me a reputation, getting me another action token. Plus 14 and 1 and 5 gets me a 20. Then 2 gems plus a charcoal finishes for 5, and an additional gem gets me 3. So that's 8 more for me. Like that. Then this one, again, 3 there. 8 wood goes from 10 to 2. 4 of these goes down to 0 and 1 ember gem. Makes that happen. Which gets me another reputation and another 15. So trading in a 5 for another 20. Like that. Again, finishing with ember gem and charcoal. And then another ember gem gets me 5 plus 3 is 8 and 2 is 9, 10. Like that. Now, I need 5 more this, 2 more this, and more charcoal. Yeah, we've got it. Okay. Then I'm going to put that there to get 2 more leather and 1 more ore. Then, hold on, I still have stuff up here. Yeah, then, ooh, we're good, we're good, we're good. I'm going to place this for, hold on, no. Which is more important, another mithril or another amber gem? Let's do another mithril. That there, 4, gets me 1, 2 charcoal like that, which then also gets me 1 more charcoal. Huh? No, I didn't want to do that. I want to do that, sorry. 1, 2, 3 more charcoal. Then this 4 comes here doing 1, 2, and 1, 2. Gets me 2 plus 3 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which gets me my 6 plus 1 of those. Then I can build that for 6 of those, 2 of those, which gets me an action. Hold on. 1 action token, and 9 coins, minus 1, minus 10 gets me another 20. And then I'm going to spend 2 mithril and a charcoal to do that, which gets me 1 of those, gets me 1 of any resource, which I will take as charcoal. Then, as a metallurgist, I can always trade 2 of anything to get a mithril or a gem. Means if I change 2 of those, I can make an ember gem and use that ember gem as an additional embellishment for 3 coins. Like that. Now, end of the round, I check titles. He only has 3 shields and 4 embellishments. But I got 5 of this embellishment and 5 shields. Means I get 8 and 6 is 14. Spending 1 gets me 15. 5, 10, 15. Those would both turn, but it is the end of the game, so it's not gonna matter. Then cleanup phase doesn't really happen at the end. So we move into final scoring. So first things first, each action token I have is worth 1 gold. So that's 2 plus 3 is 5, 10, 15, 20. I can trade these in for money based on this, but I only have 1 charcoal left. So 1 of those and 1 charcoal gets me 1 more point. Then checking here, I get another 20 points for my reputation. The AI only gets 2 points for their reputation. Like that. Meaning the AI ends their game with 20, 40, 60, 84. It's the lowest I've ever seen the AI score. And I scored 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 41. 141 points is huge for me. My previous high score being a 117. I played very well and I'm glad I got it all on video. Chances are I made some small mistakes other than the ones I found as I was playing, but again, I will fix any of those things in the subtitles as I go through. Also looking at the AI, their high score previously was 163, so if they'd done that well this time, I still would have lost, but somehow, luckily, they only scored 84 points this time, mostly because this happened. Their last reputation didn't come out until much later, so they were only taking the small contracts and not getting their engine going. I'll talk more about that in my final thoughts. But with that, this is when I do like to take a look at the components. Everything here looks pretty nice. I have to say a little bit the artwork looks semi-amateurish. Maybe not the artwork is nice. Because the armor all looks great, the background pictures here are great. I love the character design. I think more of it is the graphic design itself looks a little bit, I don't want to say amateur because it works and it looks nice. It just feels like a first-time publisher kind of graphic design. But again, not bad in any way because the iconography here is very easy to follow. The player aids, these 6 cards that everybody gets, again, let me show those to you. Each phase is shown: gathering phase, production phase, end of season phase, all of the things your actions can do, all of the sort of names of the different regular goods and mystic goods. Everything looks or works very well. It's very intuitive. It flows. the way that everything sort of is designed to show you or to walk you through the game, all of the different triggers, all of the different actions and so on, once you've played once, is pretty much straightforward. But yeah, in general, everything looks good. The card quality is nice. I don't know if there's a linen finish. There might be some. Yeah, there's definitely a texture to the cards, but it's not like super fancy quality, but they're absolutely good enough. Nice stiffness to them. They are small cards, if that bothers you for whatever reason. They are small, but again, all of the tokens are nice. The quality of the tokens are nice. I know that there's a deluxer version, if that's a word, of this game that has upgraded components. I haven't seen them or interacted with them, so I can't talk about that. The dice themselves, it is a preference thing whether you like numbers or pips on your dice, but they're easy to read. The colors are easily distinguishable. There's a little bit of a marbling to them that looks nice. Nice dice. This first player marker I think is special for the Kickstarter edition because there's also a cardboard version, but I like this big heavy metal coin that comes with it. So in general, the components here are way more than just components. They're designed very nicely. The artwork is nice. There's just something about this, like these cards and these cards, that just feel a little bit first-time gamey. These player boards with all of these recessed things, the holes in the board itself, work really well. Though one small issue, I don't know if you can see it on camera, is that these boards, as I play with them, or at least as I have them out on the table, are starting to bow a little bit more and more as they sit out. So you can see that when I close it, there is a little bit of a gap between them. I suppose that if I weighed them down, I could probably get that out of there, but otherwise, the design of these is really cool. I love how it opens up into a regular player board, all with dual layered stuff. And then on the back is the AI board, so you can grab any of them for the AI and any of them for you, and it works really nicely. Now, where they do step things up beyond the design of the components, though, is the design of the insert stuff. So these are the two inserts you get for all of the different monies and action tokens, all of the different mystic goods. The dice all slide in here, and I should show you the other dice over here. There are two assistants that give you separate, different dice. So this is the badger die, kind of black and striped like a badger. And this one is the crow die. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's kind of translucent with like gold flecks kind of mixed into it. Really cool dice. But anyway, all of the dice, basically 3 of each color and 1 special die, goes in each of those trays with these long upgrade pieces on top of them. Each of those then does get its own lid that goes on it like that. Then in the game box itself, you'll see there's a recessed area where all of the player boards slide in. Picking this up without causing too much damage, that folds and goes in a slightly larger recessed area on top of those. Then on top of that, now this was my choice, there was a piece of paper on there to protect the board. I don't think it's that important, and the paper was annoying to take in and out, so I got rid of it, but it was there if you need it. Those slot in nicely like that. All of the small upgrades go in here. All of the AI's tokens themselves, the title values go in there. I've got each color sort of reputation marker and blocks. 2 of them fit in here and 2 of them fit in there. The first player marker that I showed you before fits into that recessed hole. This one here fits into that recessed hole like that. These small cards, 2 decks go here and here. I don't need to show them to you because they're all over the table right now, but 1 stack of cards here, 1 stack of cards here, and there's quite a bit of space, so I suspect that sleeved cards might fit as well. All of these tiles fit lined up in here like this. Again, I'm not going to clean them all up, but that would fill in there. And then on top of that goes all of these longer upgrades like that. And if that wasn't enough, then on top of all of that, there is another lid that goes on there with the books. Everything fits perfectly. Everything held in place very nicely, although I guess that goes that way to cover up the right spaces. Again, insert design on this is really, really cool. I'm not sure quite why there's different shapes for these different holes, but whatever it is, it works very well. It holds everything very nicely, vertically, horizontally, whatever it is on the shelf. I'm very happy with the insert design. I'm content, or slightly more than content, with the component design. I'm more than content with the dual layered boards, aside from the slight warping. That's basically all I have to say about the components. Meet me back up top and I'll let you know what I think about the game itself. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. Let me apologize up front for my mistake during the setup of the AI. As you saw, I put the event cards into the entire deck and mixed them up before placing them out, but realistically event cards should have been in the top 8 cards, which means that the very latest that they would have come out is after the 8th turn of the AI, which means near the end of the 3rd season, which basically means that the reputation of the AI would have been at least at level 2 by the end of the 3rd season, and they would have started making some of the higher level, or fulfilling some of the higher level contracts. So their point score would have been quite a bit higher. Looking back though, I'm guessing it was probably about a 30 or 40 point swing at most, so I probably still would have won the game. And in any case, these sort of mechanisms of the game and the sort of overall flow of the game isn't changed at all by that. So I do apologize for that, but I do hope that the gameplay was still sort of representative of the game and it was still a useful video for all of you. Now, with that said, let's get into how I feel about this game. At its core, Forges of Ravenshire is a worker placement game, a dice-based worker placement game, in which every round, or every turn, you're placing one of your dice out onto a space on the board, taking the action at that location. And then, similarly to the worker placement mechanism in Raiders of the North Sea, you're then removing a different one, not the one you place, any other die from the board, taking that action. Now I say similar because the place and take an action, or take and take an action, is the way that the worker placement mechanism worked in Raiders of the North Sea, except here the twist is, or at least the first twist is, this is a dice-based game. Meaning, when I place out at a location, I'm not simply doing what that location does. How much I get to do, or exactly what I get to do at that location, is determined by the value of the die that I'm placing out. So already that's a twist, because now it's more important to me to pay attention to, not more important, but also important for me to pay attention to, not just where I'm going each turn, but also how I'm activating each location each turn, because some things will give me more stuff for high numbers, some things will give me more stuff for low numbers, some places will give me slightly different things for high numbers or low numbers, so it's very important for me to pay attention to which numbers I'm placing out. But also, much like Raiders of the North Sea, this is an interesting mechanism because it's not just about what I need, it's also about paying attention to what the opponent needs or might need. So I don't want to place a die in a place that matches a color that the AI is likely to take, because then they might take that. If it's something I want, I need to pay attention to how I'm placing things out, and also that I'm not sort of giving massive turns to my opponent based on the things that I'm doing. So already this is an interesting system. And if that was it, then that would be it, but it's not. There's sort of levels and levels on top of that, because after I take the die, I then place that die on my own player board. And now the number doesn't matter, at least for now. Instead, now I'm paying attention to the color, which adds another wrinkle, because when I'm placing out a die and then taking a die, I have to think about the colors that I'm placing out. Because depending on the color of the die that I've drafted or taken from the board, it's going to trigger one of 3 guild tracks on my player board. And each of those guild tracks is going to give me different things. But then another wrinkle on top of that is one of the actions on the board, and also, I'll talk about in just a second, action tokens, spending an action token or taking one of the other actions on the board is going to give me new tiles that slot into these guild tracks. And what that means is I'm effectively leveling up each of these guild tracks, because if I keep pumping tiles into, say, the green track, every time I draft a green die, I'm getting tons of stuff in a single action. Whereas if I start spreading out those guild tracks a little bit more, I'm going to get stuff regardless of what color I pick, but I'm not going to get a sort of big windfall based on a specific color that I'm focused on. So there's this balance of engine building based on which tiles do I take and which locations am I focusing on. Then there's also the idea of which color dice am I placing out, giving access to my opponent to those specific dice, and then which dice am I drafting of a specific color to focus on which of those guild tracks I'm activating. And that's not even the end of it there, because on top of that, there's another phase to the game. And in that extra phase, now the dice that I've placed on my board are going to get replaced on a different section of my board to activate a bunch of stuff, to basically go to work the production phase in my forges. So now I'm taking some of the resources that I've earned through the worker placement piece to turn into sort of better resources. So I can turn wood into charcoal, but then I can turn charcoal and ore together into steel. And then the main reason I'm doing all of these things is to ultimately fulfill contracts, building weapons, building armor, building shields, and scoring points, basically. You're getting money, and money becomes points in this game. So I need to pay attention to the resources that I'm gathering. And I'm gathering those resources largely through the worker placement, place and take mechanism, but then also in my production phase, I'm using the dice that I've drafted before. Now the colors, again, don't matter. They only matter numbers. But I'm using those numbers to then potentially change some of the resources into other things, to potentially reactivate some of my guild tracks, to potentially just get new resources, and then ultimately using those resources to make these contracts, fulfilling these contracts, getting points, getting money. It's important that I say getting money and not getting points, because the money that you're earning not only is points, but the money that you're getting is also going to be something you can spend to do specific things throughout the game. Some of the events or the abilities that you get on your guild track will require you to spend money to get something else in return. Also, some of the things on your board can be upgraded. There's a marketplace, which I'll talk about in a minute, that can get upgraded. There's also the two sort of forges where I'm making my charcoal and where I'm making my steel that I can level up. You can also use the money to clear out new areas in your guild track, giving you more spaces to put in those tiles, giving you the ability to upgrade those engines even more for each of the individual colors that you're drafting in your guild. So it really makes for this super cool sort of integrated worker placement, resource management, engine building, sort of almost tableau building kind of system, where your main focus is get a bunch of resources, change some of those resources into other resources, and then use those resources to make stuff that gets you money that becomes points. But while you're doing all of this, there's a bunch of different things you want to focus on, because there are 3 different levels of goods that you can make, basically. And those are going to be important for sort of 2 different reasons. One of those is because as the level increases, the stuff you're getting for those things is better, because obviously higher level quality, higher, better stuff is going to earn you more money when you sell it at market. But also, you've got these sort of goals, they're called titles in this game, that you're working towards trying to sort of hit. Because when you do, you get bonus money, which becomes bonus points, obviously. So it might be focusing on all of a certain level, all level 2 or all level 3. It might just be focusing on getting lots of contracts done. It might be focusing specifically on types of contracts, all weapons, all shields, all armor, and so on. So you're trying to focus on a specific kind of thing, managing your resources to make those resources sort of suitable for the thing that you're trying to build. And then when you build it, you get a bunch of money, but on top of that, you're also occasionally getting action tokens. You're also occasionally getting reputation, and that reputation is what's ultimately going to allow you to create these level 2 and level 3 goods. But also, continuing to push the reputation up is going to get you more individual little bonuses, like an extra resource here and there, and ultimately score you a lot of points at the end of the game if you get high reputation. So depending on what you're building, you're getting points, but you're also getting kickback in other ways, and the bigger or higher level stuff you're doing gets you more rewards in all of those different facets. But that's still not it, because there's even more going on. First off, the action tokens and the market that I keep talking about. The action tokens I've already mentioned can be spent with money to upgrade things. The action tokens can be spent with money to unlock those slots in your guild tracks. But also, these action tokens are how you're going to be able to get the contracts that you're trying to fulfill by making these different goods. Because I can't fulfill a contract in the market without first sort of accepting the contract as our forge. Basically, a customer comes in and I have to say, okay, we'll make that thing that you're looking for. So I have to first get an action token, use that action token to draft the card for the contract that I'm trying to make, get all of the right resources, and then spend all of the right resources to fulfill that contract to get all the stuff that I get for it. And again, that's still not it. Because on top of all of that, the idea is that I'm a forge, I'm making these things, I'm forging these things. If I just make the plain old normal thing, I'm no different or no better than anybody else. So what that means is there's also the ability to sort of add a finish to the things that you're forging. And the two different kinds of finishes are going to then give you additional reputation or additional money for the thing that you're selling because it's fancier, it's cooler, it's embellished in some way. So then there's a sort of second set of resources that aren't sort of normal resources. These are the mystical goods, and the mystical goods are also going to be there to give you a little bit more stuff going on in the game. The mystical goods are used to add finish. They make them fancy because I've included some kind of rare resource in the thing that I've made. But also, some of the higher level goods or things that we're crafting or forging will require some of those mystical goods. And these mystical resources are harder to get because you can't just go out looking for them. You need very specific dice values to get them. Or you need to have specific actions in your guild tracks that get them for you. But having them is going to sort of increase the stuff that you're getting when you do the things that you do. So now that adds another level to the puzzle of this sort of efficiency of, should I rush to get a bunch of low stuff out that doesn't really require anything, but will allow me to complete a bunch of contracts? Should I aim for higher level contracts to try and get lots of money or lots of reputation out of a single thing? And then if I'm focusing on that specific single thing, should I then work harder to get lots of extra mystical resources to start adding finishes to all of these things? Or would it be better to try and collect more resources of the regular type so that I can make more things and fulfill more contracts? And this balance of which to focus on, how many to focus on, go big on one thing or go small on lots of things is a really interesting decision, and I do like how that works. In addition, one of the mystical things is a talisman, it looks like a tooth, is a talisman that I can use to adjust my die value. And that's part of the marketplace. The marketplace also allows me to trade certain goods for goods or certain mystical goods for other goods, but the talisman allows me to change the die value. So now it might be worth trying to collect more of those talismans. So if the dice are not what I want them to be, I can manipulate them when I place them out on the board to take an action, before I take them off of the board to take an action, before I move them over to my sort of forge area for my later actions in the later phase, the production phase. All of these are options that I have. Is it worth spending the talisman to sort of get better options for myself? Or should I use those talismans to create specific goods at market to fulfill contracts that require a talisman to be made? All of these things keep piling up and layering on layering on layering, and makes for a very interesting puzzle about not just what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you're going to do it, when you focus on gaining resources, when you can use resources at the forge to create different resources instead of just gathering them. For example, the steel, if I'm gathering them with a worker placement action, I only get one per action. But if I make it in a forge, well, first off, I have to have charcoal and ore to put together to make the steel. But once I've started making steel, particularly if I've upgraded my forge, I get an additional 4 steel every time I make 1 steel if I do it that way. So then I should probably not be spending worker placement actions to get the steel if I can also get it better and more efficiently through the forge. Except that when I take the worker placement action to get that steel, I could potentially also get an action token, which might be something that I need to get a contract. And then once I have the contract, well, now I need to steal to fulfill that contract, so maybe I should make some in the forge. And there's all of this different sort of layering on layering to figure out how everything works. to ultimately focus on the sort of main things that the titles are pushing me to try. There's lots of ability to manipulate stuff to get the things you need. There's lots of different pathways to get to the things that you're trying to get to. And the combination of Raiders of the North Sea worker placement, plus the dice value, plus the die color with the engine building in your guild track, plus the sort of second level replacement of your dice in the production phase forge area. Lots of gears turning, but ultimately it's not that complicated because each action you're taking is just get resources, get different resources, change resources to resources. The actions are all fairly simple, but the way that you level them all, not level, but layer them all together really does make for an interesting puzzle, and I'm really enjoying everything I see in the sort of core mechanisms of this game. Now, the other thing that this game does have as a sort of optional module are the assistants that I played with in this game. And the assistants are cool because it twists the rule differently for each player every time you play the game. It's a variable player power that each player gets, some unique way to interact with the game, an additional die that gives you an extra choice for placement, even if you don't get to place an extra die, or a different additional die that lets you place a fourth die during the production phase, or the ability to start with an upgraded market and the ability to spend talismans to do different things, or the one you saw in the video where I had the ability to spend mystical goods to give additional finishes to my goods, and so on. These really do make it interesting because it allows you to try different things or pushes you to try different things because it gives you sort of a leg up in one of the different mechanisms of the game. And I do really enjoy what these are offering. But speaking, again, based on the core gameplay piece itself, without talking about the solo yet, this is potentially one small negative I do have with this game, is that the balance of these assistants may or may not be a great one. Some of them feel really powerful, and some of them feel more of sort of a focus-based thing rather than a power-based thing, meaning it doesn't really make me do any better. It just forces me to think about the game in a different way, while some of them, while focusing me, also give me a boost that really does make me feel quite a bit more powerful. Now, in the solo game, I'm not playing against other opponents, so I can't say, hey, that guy got a good one and I got a bad one, so yeah, that's not great. So I don't mind it that much. It just means that the scores that I'm getting in the solo mode can be a little bit swingy. But ultimately, I enjoy having the assistant because, again, it does push me to try new things and it does allow me to interact with the game in a different way. So I for the most part, enjoy them, but I just want to point out that there is quite a bit of potential swinginess. And again, I haven't played this game a million times. I've only done each of them one time. I can't say for sure that they're not balanced. It may just be that I connect with some better than I do with others, but ultimately it does, originally at least at first glance, feel that some of them may be quite a bit more powerful than others. So again, core mechanisms, I really enjoy what's going on in this game. There's a lot of really interesting stuff going on. But now let's talk about the solo mode. The solo mode is a deck-based AI system where you turn over a card and the AI does something. Basically, it's telling you which dice to prioritize placing and then which dice to prioritize taking, and then also from which locations and those things should be happening. The AI does not have a production phase. The AI doesn't have any ability to manipulate things or change things. It's simply placing and taking dice, sort of stealing things from you, blocking off spaces you might want, but then also, along the way as it collects goods, fulfilling contracts. And those contracts will sort of escalate, or at least they should if you set the game up, again, sorry, if you set it up properly, they should escalate as the game goes on, sometimes faster and sometimes slower. The AI also has a little bit of a personality that changes every time because their guild priority is going to be different. Because of the titles in the game, the AI is sort of trying to set their priorities to meet the titles in the game. So that forces the AI to play slightly different, which color guilds it's focused on, and so on. But then also the event cards that you're mixing into the AI deck will come out at different times. And depending on the difficulty level, there are going to be different events mixed in. So sometimes they'll get extra goods, or sometimes they'll get extra guild tiles, or sometimes their reputation will come real early or real late in the game. So it does change things up. Also, the finisher that the AI gets, in my video they had the finisher that gets them extra money every time they complete something. They could also have the finisher that gets them the reputation every time. in which case every time they make a contract, the reputation's flying up even more and more, accelerating the way that the AI works. So every time you play the game, the AI will feel slightly different, and it does for the most part work pretty well as a system, meaning I do feel like I'm competing against somebody. I do have to think about which dice I'm placing out. I do have to think about which dice I'm taking. I do have to think about which locations will still be open, which locations do I need to make sure are open, which locations should I block so the AI can't interact with, and so on. But at the same time, this AI system is a little bit disappointing, is a good way to say it, I think, because it is very swingy. If the AI gets the reputation up early in the game, it's going to be a powerhouse because the way that it scores its contracts or fulfills its contracts, it doesn't require anything different from the AI to play a level 3 contract or a level 1 contract, except that the AI has to have had a reputation at the appropriate level to do so. Now, granted, that's a little harder for the AI because it doesn't have as many options to get its reputation up, but once it gets to level 2 reputation, or if it has the finisher that gets reputation, it starts snowballing because every time it scores, it's getting more reputation and more and more and more. And then it does get to level 3. And some of those level 3 cards give it like 4 reputation at a go. And now it's flying up the reputation track. And if the AI picks up steam like that, there's nothing I can do because it's paying the exact same number of resources for a level 3 contract and a level 1 contract. For me, I need way more stuff to build one of those higher contracts, which is important because I can pump out lots of little ones for little resources or focus heavily on the higher level contracts to make more money and get more stuff. But if the AI can get either one of those for the same price, simply based on what reputation level it's at, the AI is going to completely crush you if it gets its engines going. But at the same time, if those event cards come out later in the deck, or if you set up incorrectly like I did, but even if I hadn't set up incorrectly, if those event cards had come out after turn 7 or turn 8 or somewhere much later in the game, that means they're only going to get 1 or 2 level 2 or level 3 contracts, pumping out lots of small level 1 stuff, and then probably the AI is not really going to be able to keep up with you because you're making smarter decisions. So while the core loop of the AI system does work, and it does feel mostly like I'm playing against an opponent, that opponent is a very cheaty one, and it does lead to very swingy games. So ultimately, as a solo game, I'm not sure that I can recommend this game, which is a little bit sad because, again, I do really enjoy the core mechanisms here of worker placement, of dice-based worker placement, of engine building, of resource management, of sort of planning versus timing versus how you're getting things done. It all works very well, except the AI is just simply either crushing me or not doing very well. And I guess I could play this as a sort of beat my own score, trying to do my best every time. But again, if I'm playing with assistance, that's going to be fairly swingy as well. So I don't know where I end up on this one. If I was playing this game multiplayer, I'd probably enjoy it more than I do as solo. But unfortunately, given my circumstances, I don't get a ton of time to play multiplayer games. So as a solo-only experience, I can't really recommend this one, at least not for a long-term play-a-lot kind of game. It's definitely one that's still fun. It's definitely one that if you have access to, you should definitely give it a shot, even solo, because I do enjoy it. I have enjoyed every play with it. It's just not one that's sunk its teeth into me because of the small problems that I have with the game. Now, if you are a multiplayer gamer who does love worker placement games, who does particularly like dice worker placement games, this one does a lot of cool things. It adds a lot of cool twists to it. It is a whole lot of fun. And with the addition of the engine management or the engine building, plus the sort of cool resource management and conversion puzzle, there's a whole lot going on here. So if you are a fan of multiplayer worker placement, engine building, resource management kind of games, definitely give this one a check because it is a very interesting and very cool game, just not as solo only. And that's basically where I stand on this game. I hope that this video was helpful for you. As always, if it was, I do ask that you like, subscribe, and click the bell icon below, and I'll see you all next time.